Monasticism is a mystery, which means it is not entirely communicable through words. Its main purpose is total attachment to God through the acquisition of a pure, simple, and single heart in which God dwells. A monk is circling about and increasingly drawn into the mystery of God, who is the uncreated still point, the center of all, leaving behind the fantasy of the world, either fame or wealth or delusions about oneself. The monastic strives for the perfect philosophy, for the science of the unifying commandments, which are summed up in the precept of love. And when we say love, we don't mean a sentiment, but a divine energy in which we are called to participate. Now the monastic is to attain this holy stillness and remain there. To do that, he or she departs from the world, from the distractions of the world, so that he can be in better contact with God. Monastic life is meant to be simple, that is, without compartments, without divided inclinations. This simplicity is dictated by the vows of the monastic tonsure, which are chastity, obedience, and unpossessiveness or unacquisitiveness, which is not simply poverty, but the lack of desire to have personal possessions. All of these convey the concept of holy marriage, the divine eros. Now, this eros is expressed and cultivated in the ascetical and liturgical life of the monastery. The sectors of the daily life are divided into four. First, common worship. Second, private prayer and study. Third, work, including the offering of hospitality to the flood of pilgrims. And fourth, recreation. None of these periods is continuous. What must be continuous and uninterrupted is mental prayer. Now, the monk begins his day with his private prayer after midnight in his cell, followed by the midnight service in the church. Worship comprises 7 services, according to the ancient monastic tradition, and on Mount Athos, the daily holy liturgy. Worship is a joy, a feast, a festival. The whole day, the whole night is filled with prayers, fragrance, incense, saints, angels, and the Holy Trinity. And the whole life is sanctified and unified in what we call the liturgical time. The whole life is Eucharistic, and by the way, the word Eucharist, which is a Greek word, means literally thanksgiving. Now, this life is also ascetical. Ascetic discipline includes fasting, vigil, the restriction of needs or pseudo-needs and desires, and a continuous struggle against the passions, and especially the all-inclusive passion, which is self-love. Self-love must give its place to true love, and selfish imagination must give its place to a clear vision of creation, of its unity and sacredness, and vain conceit must give its place to humility. Because, and in this way, the heart is purified. So, because through love we are assimilated and united to God, and through love we acquire a clear vision of the divine principle of creation, the Logos, Christ. It is love. This is why in Orthodox monasticism, love takes precedence over any kind of organization or order or productivity. Love dictated the foundation of the first monastic community, in which the many are one, and the one is not alone, but is in the many. Now, love's highest expression is prayer for the life of the world. Therefore, the monk's primary work, wherever he is and whatever he does, is unceasing prayer, to stand still before God. This makes him joyful, for he becomes aware of the life-conferring presence of God, and he knows that he is called to manifest in his own being the fact that God is present, that Christ is present as our brother and father and friend, and life, resurrection, and eternal life. For this reason, the monk is not an isolated figure, not a detached figure. He knows perfectly that no man is an island, and no monk is an island. Because he pursues the path of truth and humility, he acquires the sense of oneness of humanity and the sense of unity with the whole of creation, the natural elements, the birds, the animals. And the same apply to all forms of monasticism, either cenobitic or heremitic. So even when the monk sits in his cell alone, he activates powers that sanctify and unify the whole world. He humbles and empties himself, and so the divine grace, united with the waves of his prayers, spread everywhere and embraces all things. In short, monastic life is a separation from everything and a perfect union with everything. And this is the reason why the monk receives the apostolic vocation. Well, in the service of the monastic tonsure, Christ addresses the candidate, saying that you who would come and follow after me, readily renounce all ties, all worldly ties, the parents you have gave you birth, money, homes and relatives and servants, and receive the rank of my apostles. And he does so for the life of the world. and he is foolish according to the world. Eventually, to have a single and simple heart is to love God and his creation. This simple heart is the merciful heart as described by Saint Isaac the Syrian in the 6th century. I would like to quote from his writings what he says about the merciful heart. A merciful heart is a burning of the heart for all creation, whether for man, for the birds of the air, for animals, for the demons, for every creature. From the memory and contemplation of creatures, the eyes stream with tears, and from compassion and pity, the heart is unable to bear, to see, or to hear of any injury or of anything grievous occurring in creation. It is for this reason that such a man prays with tears for all human beings and creatures and things. Vision of the glory of God is given to such a human being. And I believe that this description given by St. Isaac captures the monastic mode of being, which is the uncompromising, uninterrupted way to the holy stillness of love.